Hey, sports fans, Louie Diamond in our Las Vegas handicapping studios with BettorCenter Live. And this is where we come at you every Saturday and Sunday morning live from our Las Vegas studios. And we get you some detailed information on the steam that's happening right now in college football tomorrow. We'll talk about it in the NFL at 12 noon. Eastern Time, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And we're going to get you all the NFL information that we can get you. But right now, let's get to the college moves that are happening right now on the board. And the biggest moves, and we'll just go right in order of the Don Best schedule. We'll start with game 121, 122. Coastal Carolina is playing at UAB. Coastal Carolina opens up a 2-point favorite. But UAB is getting a lot of steam. Went to 1.5, but now it's even UAB minus 1.5 as high as. I see a lot of picks. I see a lot of ones, but I am seeing a 1.5 out there. So a lot of steam on UAB. Why do you think that may be? I'm kind of thinking that it may have to be with it's the first road game for Coastal Carolina in the FBS. So, and all UAB has to do is beat a first-time roadie in the FBS. I'm thinking that's why you're getting a lot of steam that way, but like Tony Gullidge said a couple weeks ago, Coastal Carolina may be a team to reckon with. So I wouldn't jump right on that move right away. So big steam on the under as well in this game. Total opens up 58.5, goes down to 51.5, but right now we see a little bit of the buyback going on, where that is now at 52.5 and 53 is the number on the game. What does the buyback mean? The buyback means is when the professional bettors started betting under 58.5, and let's just say they just started betting as much as they can, and they got 10,000 down on the under 58.5. And then all of a sudden, and let's just say really what moves the line is the 100 and the 200 and the $300,000 plays. And they have to be from wise guys as well. So now when they go make that first initial move, then you get the steam, where the game gets steamed. All the followers, all the sheep are going to go in and start betting the under, because all the wise guys started to bet the under. Who is the wise guy today? The wise guy today, he's not the guy sitting in the back smoking a cigar, being a wise guy. It's now a computer robot. It's as simple as that. So the wise guy is the robot. So now when the robot comes out, or it could be late breaking information or actually breaking information that the public doesn't have yet. So such as maybe a theory, such as first FBS game on the road. So maybe you get a little steam on UAB. Not a big steam, but a big steam on the under, because UAB's only given up 7 points this season. Coastal Carolina is a running team. They're going to have to struggle to pass the ball in this event. So I think that's why you got some steam on the under. But like I said, I think Coastal Carolina just may be, Tony may be right here, and they just may be a little underrated, and possibly some value within that team. So once again, the under got steamed at 58.5. all the way down to 51.5. So now let's just say they got $100,000 on the under, from 58.5 down to maybe 56.5. 56 is a key number, and there's key numbers all within this, and they got it all the way down to 51.5, but 51 is actually a key number, so I'm surprised it didn't go to the 51. So, but maybe they got to the 51.5, and then they bought the half point because they have value within that. And then if the game lands between 52 and 58, you win both bets. And if you have reduced juice and reduced juice opportunities, you only got to hit at a minimum of 1 in every 20 bets to cash the ticket. So, and that means if you can do that on the board all day long on Saturday, and you get yourself 20, 30 bets, sometimes you'll sit down and you'll win 3 or 4 in a day that'll hit within the middle. That's called a middle, or an arbitrage. You got a window of opportunity, under 58.5, over 51.5. Okay, so $1,000 on the under, $1,000 on the over, and game lands in the middle, you're risking your juice. $100 to win $2,000. That's how the pros did it way back when. Not only did they have an edge on the game because they had the computer numbers before everybody else, but they had this big window of opportunity where they could overbet the hell out of what they liked and then come back later and then buy back the other side, scraping everything off the table from the sheep. Pretty much the way the sports gambling world works. So that was a lot for that first game. So let's look at the second game, the second move that I got here, and that is the Minnesota Gophers are they're at home against Middle Tennessee State. That game opens 55.5, gets steamed down to 51.5, and currently that is now punched back up to 52. Game opens up 8.5, crosses the key number of 10 now and it goes to 10.5, and but now back down to 9. So that's why you see the lines moving back and forth. A lot of guys are buying back and forth. They're crossing key numbers so they can win 2 bets. So you got to be careful just to follow the steam. You have to understand the steam. Next steam on the board is going to be Wisconsin BYU. Wisconsin opens up at 13, shoots up to 16.5, and rightfully so, because BYU quarterback Tanner Magnum is listed as doubtful for the game. And currently right now I see a couple 17s out there. So, and Wisconsin is probably the right play on the game. Total opens up 43, gets bet down as low as 40.5, and now it's back up to 41.5. Now maybe that may not be a middle thing. That just might be people looking both sides of the action. But when you see the big windows, chances are there's either big information on that game that the sharp players had, or they're steaming you because it's a weak market and they get to move the line and open the window up. Doesn't always mean it's a winner, guys. Oregon State and Washington State. Washington State, powerhouse on offense, comes back and gets a nice win. Oh, even though they were a 10-point favorite, they win by 3, but they put up a ton of points. And Oregon State, I don't think is going to be able to compete with this offense here today. And I think, so I see the steam. It opens up Washington State, actually small steam, 19-21. So that's I like Washington State's team. If it crossed over to 22s and tried to cross over some key numbers, it'd be a different story. 21, 20, they are kind of key numbers. There's no doubt about that. So that's why you would see a push over it if it were a middle opportunity. I think it's just steam on Washington State. And that total opens up 59, steamed up to 66. And last night, current number is 65.5. So the buyback has kind of started with that one. And Washington State still a 21-point favorite. So, but got to like the over in the game, but I think actually Oregon State's going to struggle to put the points on the board, and I think Washington State may be able to have their way today. But next, steam on the board, Toledo and Tulsa. Tulsa is the road team, and game opens up 8.5, still around that number, but the total opens up 74.5, bet down as low as 68, and current number now back up to 69.5 and 70. So the buyback has begun on that one. Next game on the board, Idaho at Western Michigan. A lot of steam on Western Michigan. They were supposed to show up against Michigan State last week. Kicked me a little bit because I was certainly a Western Michigan Bronco backer last week. The sharp money, the steam is on them this week. Open up 16.5, bet up to 20.5. A lot of that could be the fact that Idaho got whipped by the greatest underdog in the history of college football, UNLV. So, but Idaho has been a terrible, terrible ATS team. They sparked a little bit last year, but for 10 years, you'd bet against them. So maybe it's that time again. Western Michigan after the Michigan State, looking for them to rebound. Obviously, the wise guys are looking for that. And they're looking for Idaho to struggle to score, as the total goes from 58 down to 53.5. And then we have the Oregon-Wyoming game. And that game opens up at 13. Oregon steamed up to 14.5, crosses the key number of 14. Total goes from 69, though, way down to 61.5. So a lot of steam on the under in that event. And we're also looking at San Diego State and Utah. More steam there. That game opens up at 53, steamed to the over as high as 59. And so we got some good steam going on there today. Quick little rundown of the steam. And that's what we're going to do here for you on Saturday and Sunday mornings. I'm going to break down, find those biggest steam moves, give you a little idea why they're steaming, and then we'll bring on some BettorCenter handicappers to get you some picks here for today. And a guy that pretty much nailed it. I mean, nailed it last week with two nice first half bets for us in the NFL is back with us here today, and that is Mr. Anthony Nassour from Reno Sharp VIP. Anthony, good morning. Welcome.
Good morning.
How are you?
How's things in Vegas this morning?
Things are beautiful in Vegas. Getting ready to cash some tickets and hopefully give some of our viewers some solid winners.
Oh, yeah. We've got a couple of good ones on the board today. We got a premium pick, and we also have a free pick for you. The free pick is definitely a very solid number. You didn't get to that one on your Steam report, but it's got some steam going on it as well.
I noticed that when we talked earlier. I did notice that you're definitely with the steam. It's not I'm trying to look for the biggest steam, but you're definitely on the steam here. Go ahead.
We're looking for the microscopic ones, the teams and the games that are not on television. That's the best way to make your money.
Absolutely. You know the bookmakers are going to be sharp on those. I mean, they're paying attention. They're getting the biggest action. They are going to have the tightest information that they can get on those games. And these games that get a little bit of action, you get to slip. That's the stuff that falls through the cracks.
That's right. We're liking Louisiana Monroe this morning in the points. It's one of those type of games where. Go ahead.
UL Monroe in the points. Southern Miss opens up a 6.5 point favorite. We got them down as low as 4.5, so you guys bumped to 2 points here. Go ahead.
Yeah, we like the number as it started off at the 6 was good. It was a great buy-in price. The number now isn't quite as good, but there's still a little meat left on the bone. I wouldn't be surprised if they win the game outright. We're looking for sort of a high-scoring game because these two teams, their defenses are not the best. But I do think that they'll hang within the number. UL Monroe is one of those type of teams where they play up and down to the level of competition. Today they're going to play to the level of competition, and they're going to cover that number.
All right. You had a nice couple winners for us last week in the NFL. Let's recap what. And you got the ticket as we were hitting it live, and you hit the two unders. Right. You gave them to us live right here. So another reason for everybody to kind of join us here on Saturday and Sunday mornings. But why don't you talk about those two again? Just recap it a little bit.
Remember, there were two unders that we hit in the first halves. I believe they were in the early part of the schedule. Not quite. We bet so many different things during the week. I can't exactly remember the let me see. I can take a look.
Cincinnati and Cincinnati, Baltimore. No, it was Cincinnati, Baltimore under first half.
Jags and Texans also.
You nailed them both. I mean, those were two solid winners that giving away free here on BettorCenter. And Anthony nailed a couple nice first halves, and you got a nice play there. You believe you got a nice solid free winner for everybody here with UL Monroe. Still down as low as 4.5, but if you're getting the 5, you're getting 5.5. You definitely got to be. You definitely want to be a part of that game there. UL Monroe. That is game number 184 on the Down Best schedule, the official rotation, and total opens up. You think it's a high-scoring game? Total opens up at 58, and touch move up to 58.5. So.
Yeah, that looks like one of those games where it could very easily slide over the total somewhere within the third quarter. That's going to be a high-scoring game in our opinion.
All right.
I think the total was set a little bit too low.
Okay. What else are you looking at there today?
Well, we've got a couple other nice moves as far as stuff that I can give away for free. Another one that we have our eyes on is Vandy in the points.
Vanderbilt in the points.
Yeah, we like Vandy in the points today.
Okay. And Vandy is, I'm trying to think, Vanderbilt is playing a team, I'm trying to remember off the top of my head.
I can find out for you 1 second.
Yeah.
We just like the number. We were
Well,
really
no,
looking
no.
too
See,
much
that's well, a lot of people think that. Oh, you're supposed to know who all the players are. You're supposed to, you're supposed to know who the coaches are. There's no doubt about that. But when you're looking at numbers and you're looking at point spreads all day and you're just buying numbers, you're buying a number that has the value. You're not always, and when you have all these matchups going all week long, it does space. You do space your mind. But I forgot who Vandy's playing as well. But I do know that they are they're a 3-point underdog to somebody on the road or at home.
Kansas State. We've got it.
Against who?
Kansas State.
Against Kansas State. And how do I know that? I talk about Kansas State every week. In fact, I had a nice little video. Kansas State, this is not the spot for them because they're only a 3-point favorite on the road. And Kansas State, you want to take advantage of them when they are a big favorite where they can take control of the game because, as I said many times, Bill Snyder is the guy that likes to go out there and cover the spread and take care of the alumni. He didn't call me up and say, hey, Lou, I'm going to take care of the alumni. I've seen 30 years of this. When this guy has the opportunity, he takes full advantage of it. He does not kneel on the ball. That's the coach that you want to bet. But you can't bet him in a 3-point situation because you don't have that luxury. You got to worry about winning first. So yes, there you go, guys.
And
so when you hear guys talk about they like somebody and they forget about who they played, you've done it yourself. But you're liking Vandy, and this would probably be one of those spots where Kansas State may not cover.
Yeah, the number says it all. When we were looking at the numbers we wanted to buy for the afternoon games, this one stood out to us a lot. We really like this number. When you think about a short number for a road team that's in the bottom 25, they're like from the 20 to 25. In most cases, they should be favored to begin with. So we see this game as one of those where we have a false favorite. I do think that the money line is a very nice option on this game. You can win some good crumbs with that.
All right, very good. You got anything else you got there for us here, Anthony?
Yes, I have a premium pick for my members and for those who are interested in making some money on a solid play later on. Actually, I think it's the last game on the board. It's one of the last games on the board. We've got a good game between Mississippi and Cal. It's a wonderful, wonderful number. The side is very easy to detect if you know what you're doing. If you have no idea what you're doing, you need to give us a call, or you need to get to BettorCenter and get this pick while it's hot. It's going to be a really nice bet.
All right, and you can purchase this pick on BettorCenter right now. Is that true?
That'd be the best thing for someone to do if they wanted to make some money today. I mean, if they don't want to make money, they can do some other things and bet for fun and lose. But why do that? You can seek professional advice and get paid.
There you go. There's no doubt about that. There are edges in the game. The cream does rise to the top because, well, you're out there doing your thing all week, and then the games all suddenly come on, and you're like, wait, I got to bank a bet. Anthony and I are sitting there looking all week to find out who those bets are. So there are guys out there that are bringing you to the forefront and helping you out so you're not having negative issues every week in and week out. And if that's the case, then you do need a little bit of an edge. Then you certainly want to go to BettorCenter.com. And when you go to BettorCenter.com, you'll be able to find Anthony, myself, and a bunch of other handicappers out there loading out those plays and offers. And our records are fully documented. Everything's out there. Full transparency. This is not the Obama administration. Full transparency on BettorCenter.com. So, but I guess, or the Trump administration, the way you look at it now, too. So, full transparency, BettorCenter.com, and LVspn.com is where you're going to see videos of every game. I'm going to break down all the stuff and find recaps of these videos and all the handicappers. So, Anthony, I appreciate you joining us again here on a wonderful Saturday morning. Hopefully you'll be able to join us again tomorrow morning, get us some NFL steam, some moves out there, and get everybody moving in the right direction. Don't forget to find Anthony on BettorCenter.com.
Follow the money out today, folks. Follow the money.
That's it. Dorothy gave you the best advice you can ever get. Follow the yellow brick road. Now, I understand every politician will do anything but that. Coincidence? I think not. But if you follow the yellow brick road today in the world of handicapping, it's a lot sharper than it was 30 years ago. So the moves, a lot of people would sit down and say, well, all you got to do is bet against the public and you'll win. 30 years ago, 20 years ago, even 15. True story. Today, the public is following the computer. And the game has gotten so much tighter that you just have to have that experience to see what the real moves are and who's just chasing. Because if you just look at the world in general, nothing but sheep. Very few originators are in the sports gambling world. And the reason why they're originators is because they have computer programs on top of years of experience to understand certain things that only experience, only losing brings it out. When you have those losers, you're like, hey, I'm not going to do that again. And then you figure it out. So it takes a lot of time, takes a lot of experience. Do not agree?
Situations.
There you go. So thank you very much for joining us. This is Louie Diamond from Las Vegas, Nevada, live in the BettorCenter studios. Please join us again tomorrow, 1 hour before the NFL starts, with more BettorCenter Live.